If you're just getting into leather work, this video might save you some cash, some time, and a bit of frustration. I'm going to be breaking down the top 5 leather tools I totally regret buying in my first year and a half of leathercraft. Some were cheap mistakes, others were just overhyped. Either way, I learned the hard way, so you don't have to. So let's get into it. Starting off with number 5, it's a cheap skiving knife. Lesson 1, don't skimp on your blade. Early on, I picked up a cheap skiving knife / utility knife, thinking I was being smart with my budget. But here's the thing, if a tool's job is to cut, it better cut well. Cheap blades dull fast, feel uncomfortable in your hand, and honestly just slow you down. I eventually upgraded and the difference has been night and day. Moral of the story, spend what you can afford on cutting tools, and you'll thank yourself later. Moving on over to number 4, and that's going to be the stitching awl. Now this one seemed like a good idea at the time. I thought it would be a quicker, easier alternative to 2-needle saddle stitching, and I wanted to reduce the strain on my hands during long projects. But in reality, it felt clunky. It slowed me down, and I never quite trusted the results. Hand stitching with 2 needles might be old-fashioned, but it's precise, clean, and for me, just more satisfying. So yeah, this one's collecting dust. Number 3 is going to be an expensive oblong punch. And this one's a bit personal, so you can take this with a grain of salt. But I invested in a premium oblong punch. It looked beautiful. It cut clean for about 6 months. And then it cracked, completely unusable, and this thing costs just as much as my arbor press. Since then, I've been using more affordable oblong dies with this press, and they get the job done just as well and haven't failed me yet. So honestly, unless you're doing heavy volume, you might want to skip the fancy punches. Moving on to number 2, and this is going to be the cheap bench skiver. I'm not sure what I expected when I bought it. Some sort of magical consistency maybe? What I got instead was a whole lot of trial and error. It technically works, but it's fiddly, unpredictable, and I don't trust it for real projects. I still use it occasionally for rough work, but honestly, I'd rather just spend a little bit more to get something more reliable. If you skive often, consistency really does matter. And before we get to number 1, if you're enjoying this breakdown and want to support what I do, head over to puredleather.com to check out my handmade leather work, or just drop a like and subscribe. That helps a lot more than you know. All right, so let's talk about the biggest regret on this list. The number 1 regret is the manual stitching machine. My dream of faster, easier sewing turned into a reality of frustration. I really wanted this thing to work, but it was nothing but problems, tension issues, alignment issues, threading nightmares, and there's barely any decent documentation on how to fix them. If you love tinkering and have the patience of a saint, maybe it's for you, but for most people, you're better off just sticking with hand stitching, saving up for a better quality version, or investing in a full-blown electric sewing machine. Trust me. So those are the top 5 leather tools that I regret buying, not because they're useless to everyone, but because they didn't work for me and how I like to work. I'm not trying to discourage anyone. You might love some of these tools, but I hope this helps someone skip a frustrating purchase or two. Let me know in the comments, what's a tool that you regret buying? Or better yet, what's a tool that you thought would be a gimmick but ended up loving? And if you want more leathercraft content, tips, and honest takes, go ahead and hit that subscribe or follow button. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.